I looked under nomination improvement in the Niantic Wayfarer community section, and I found this series of posts. I thought it was kind of interesting, and I decided to discuss it. The question is, are we overcomplicating the nomination process? This person, a Pokemon player, asks, many trainers ask me to explain the nomination, review, and approval or lack thereof process. Is there an infographic, perhaps? Something concise and relatable. Well, this person, it's an Ingress player, said Niantic tried to make their own, which was kind of bad. And the thing is, it's kind of a complicated process. I mean, it's easy to understand if you submit and review, but if you just submit, it's really hard to understand. So I'm just going to briefly go through this. I'm going to put a link in the description to this so you can go back and, as they say, follow along. First, in whatever game you're playing, if you're level 38 or above in Pokemon Go or level 10 or above in Ingress, you can submit a way spot in the game. Once you submit it, you press the submit button. It goes into their system, and you are sent an email thanking you for submitting something. It says once you submit it, it's now available to review, but they don't tell you that your submission could take a year for somebody to actually review it. And you will know if somebody has looked at it, because your nomination will say queue, and then once at least one person has looked at it, it will say in voting. Once your nomination is in voting, you have no clue how long it's going to take. If it's a really good nomination and there's not a whole lot going on in the area at the time, you could get approval right away. If it's something that kind of confuses reviewers and there's a lot going on in the area, it could take a year to a year and a half. You just don't know. If you want to review and edit way spots and become one of us reviewers, then you have to pass a test. And it used to be Niantic would only give you 3 chances, but now they give you as many attempts as is needed to pass the test. When you're reviewing, you have access to several things on their website. They have a showcase section. It'll just show you a couple of, they say, good nominations in your area. But sometimes the good nominations really aren't that good, and Niantic has received a lot of criticism for showing bad nominations within the showcase section. You'll also have a tab that shows what you have submitted in whatever game that you play. You can go in there, you can edit them. So for example, if you submitted something and you wanted to put a lot of text, but you don't want to peck it out on your phone, you could go in there and add more text. You can edit it. You can't edit the location, you can only edit the text. Then there are forums. Forums is how I was able to access this post. It's a really good place to go to ask questions. There's going to be Pokemon players there and Ingress players there. Some may be new to the process, others may have been doing this for years. Criteria, that's a section where Niantic tries to tell you what qualifies, but they don't really do a very good job at it because the whole process is just so subjective, and it really depends where you live based on what country you live in, whether you're a city area, whether you're a rural area, and so it's really a complicated subject. So they give you guidelines to follow, but don't think that they're going to give you every answer and how you're supposed to vote on every item. And then, in Wayfarer, you can review nominations yourself. You don't know who is submitting it, whether it's a Pokemon player or an Ingress player. Sometimes they'll give you a clue in either the title and description, or they'll tell you in the supporting information. But normally you don't know what game they're playing. The community votes on it. So if you happen to be a Wayfarer reviewer, you will take part in this. If you just submit, this is going to go on in the background and you're not going to know anything about it. You don't know who's reviewing it. You don't know where the people are that are reviewing it. If you haven't upgraded it, it's more likely that it's going to be people in your general area, like your city or your town, if you upgrade it, people all over the world, or mainly in your section of your country, depending on what country you're in, could be voting on it. Like if I upgrade something, I'm close to Mexico, somebody in Mexico could get my nomination and review it. And then they say, you did it. It's accepted. Not necessarily. You could get denied if the reviewers that look at it don't think it's a good nomination. Ready to join. They want to recruit you.